Hey, everybody, how are we doing? Today I'm going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into the eBay authentication process that is coming, and I believe it actually might already be here for certain cards. Please hit that subscribe button if you are new here. We're coming out with just about daily sports cards and collectibles type content, and we will keep it going. Also, if you like what you hear, please hit the like button. It definitely helps get the word out, and we need all the help we can get, frankly. Had a lot of fun last night talking with Mike Gio of Sports Card Nonsense on Brad the Comeback Card Investors channel. Definitely check out that live stream. It was yesterday on his channel. Looking forward to having Mike back on and doing a little bit more of the collaboration stuff with those guys. Also, please don't forget to connect with me on IG at The Personal Finance Dad. I'm also on that Twitter thingy, The Personal Finance Dad. All right, let's get into the screen. I'm going to flip the thingy around. I'm going to do the screen share thingamabobber, and we'll get started. All right, guys, here we are. We are looking at the eBay homepage here. No fakes, no fraud, no doubt. They're moving into authenticating high-value trading cards, which the initial kind of number for that is going to be $750 or higher. But when they talk about high-value trading cards, that's going to come all the way down to $250 over time. Mid-2022 is what was stated. They have mentioned here professional authenticators, no cost to you. We'll get into that in a little bit. Authenticity guarantee, okay. Authenticity guarantee is independent from and not associated with any brands sold on eBay. Genuine peace of mind from start to finish. And we're going to move down to the FAQs here so that we can study that a little bit more. We're looking for cards with the blue authenticity guarantee check mark. Seller ships the card to the authentication facility, which is CSG. We've learned CSG grading. Your card is verified and authenticated through a multi-point inspection process and receives a tamper-proof sticker and a QR code confirming the authentication. The authenticator ships the card directly to you via secure and discreet tracked shipping. All cards this time will have signature required delivery. Now, my initial thoughts just as I read this, logistically, there are a lot of steps here. This might seem simple as we've got 4 steps in front of us, but the fact of the matter is that this is going to be a lot. If you think about how many cards are sold on eBay, especially cards that are $250 or higher, that's doesn't really go far in sports cards today. Yes, there are a lot of cards that are less than $250, but there is a ton of cards $250 and higher. One thing I'm not really crazy about is as they move into authenticating graded cards, yes, there are fake slabs out there. There are fake cards in fake slabs, but it would be nice to have this be optional if it's an already graded card. Right now, this is looking as if it's a must. You have to go through this process. And so we'll keep on moving down. But the logistical piece is going to be critical, and executing that is going to be incredibly important. Returns. Before you make your purchase, check the seller's return policy. If the seller doesn't accept returns, the purchase is considered a final sale. If the seller has a return window, you must open the return within that window. In the unlikely event that your card is damaged in transit, you can still open a return request. Okay. Again, that can be kind of a little bit hairy depending on circumstances with returns. What if it's a BGS slab? They've authenticated it, and then CSG says it's not authentic, or PSA it gets a little hairy. Authentic without a doubt, and we did cover there are mistakes made here in grading. So yes, this is a definitive statement here. There are mistakes made. Grading companies make mistakes and grade fake cards, and we have seen that. And so I assume CSG, of course, will have some sort of a buyback program. I'm just assuming this because they're authenticating the card. If they do make a mistake, when they make that person whole on that purchase, or there's some sort of a program in place for that. I assume there has to be. Put them on display. Interesting here because it's coming in, I guess it's kind of interesting, packaging. I don't know how many people will actually display it like this, but if you're taking it out of what looks to be this card saver here, and putting it into something else, does that negate the authentication? Does it have to be in this thing to be still considered authentic? I don't know. That's kind of an interesting one. As we get down to the FAQs, we see how does authenticity I can't talk. How does authenticity guarantee work? It's easy. I would argue it's not so easy. Browse and shop eBay's listings with the blue authenticity guarantee checkmark. When an eligible item is purchased, then the seller ships the item to the authentication facility. Again, this is going to be critical, the turnaround time on this. And CSG, while I like their slabs, I trust their graders, all of that, the big issue in grading as a whole right now is turnaround times. It's pricing and turnaround times, but turnaround times being a really critical one. And my understanding is CSG does have a backlog currently that they are working through. They are behind on grading cards. And so is this a separate team that has been hired on strictly for this purpose to work the eBay account? Because this is going to be absolutely a must for these cards to be turned around. And when you think about flipping cards through eBay, I think this becomes incredibly difficult, because if this is not done to where you're getting your cards back very quickly, then I don't see how you can effectively buy a card, 1 week, sell it the next week. Kind of that day trading of sports cards, is going to change, at least through the eBay platform. And I just wonder, how that's going to affect business on this particular selling platform, because that's what a lot of folks, have been doing over the last couple of years, and where a lot of kind of the sales have come from. It's also stated here, please note there is no grading in this process. One thing that would make this a little bit more intriguing to me is if grading was an option, and if it had a kind of a certain turnaround time to it, a fast turnaround time that they could stick to, just for eBay stuff, just for stuff that's going through eBay. Because if it's something to where I'm buying a raw card, I'm authenticating it, and then I'm also getting it slabbed up and graded within a certain amount of time, I kind of like that as an option. But again, optional would be nice. The fact that it's mandated is going to be interesting. When talking about what items are eligible, right now it's at $750 and above. Sets, lots, kits, decks, boxes, packs, patch jerseys, autograph cards do not qualify at this time, but my understanding is they do want to get to a point where those cards are included. This part's interesting too. After the authentication facility receives the card, they first confirm the item and collateral materials are consistent with the listing, title, description, and images on eBay, which I think is good. But what if there is some sort of an argument against, maybe there's a mistake made, at CGC, CSG, where, they're like, we can't authenticate this card. And maybe they just missed something, and that, it was listed properly, described properly, the images were right. That could also be another little bit of a rabbit hole that's not fun to deal with. How long will the authentication process take? Within 1 to 2 business days of receipt. That's fast. Now, it will be inspected and then shipped out. They receive it and then they ship it out within 1 to 2 business days, because that is lightning fast. There will be tracking, of course, that's offered through eBay. I think this part will probably be fairly smooth as far as eBay uploading, all of the tracking. They do that pretty well now with everything. Why was the item sent back to me by the authenticator after I opened a return? If the authenticator determines the return item is not the same item, is not in the same condition, or that the authenticity guarantee sticker has been tampered with, the item will be sent back to you and the return is denied. Okay, good to know. Can I choose not to have my item authenticated? Not at this time. Okay, so it's user agreement stuff. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, it's single cards only. Right now it's ungraded cards, $750 or more. This actually makes a lot of sense for ungraded cards and expensive ones like this, because you can get really hosed, on raw cards that are, and especially at $750 or higher. Nobody wants to get, stuck with, fake cards or any of that stuff, trimmed, altered. So yes, I thought this was kind of interesting though. So these are items that are not eligible for the authenticity guarantee, and you go through, currently it's graded cards. There's talk that this could change, set slots, all of that. And we get down here, the 1980s Star Company basketball cards, which is funny to me. Out of all the sets, all the sets of sports cards, how many sets are there? Millions, maybe, if we're going back 100 plus years. They specifically have listed here the 80s Star Company cards. And that, of course, is, the Michael Jordan, the Barkley, there's a lot of cool cards in these types of sets, but, these were reprinted like crazy. And it's PSA, I believe, that will not grade these. BGS has graded them or graded some early on. But PSA has, just doesn't grade these cards. And I assume, CSG doesn't either and won't authenticate them because the reprints, from what I understand, look very, very similar to the original. So it's very difficult to tell. But I just thought that was kind of funny that was the only set that, specifically named here as not eligible. So this is an interesting one too. As we scroll down, impact of fraud detection on buyers and sellers. You acknowledge and agree that if the third-party authenticator detects fraud or suspects an item is counterfeit, the item will be removed from marketplace circulation. In addition, eBay will work with the proper authorities as needed and reserve the right to confiscate or destroy any items determined to be counterfeit. So, if you have people that have, are selling this sort of thing in bulk, really trying to move a lot of it, then, they are going to work with authorities. And, I think that this is something where there's a lot of people that welcome this in the hobby. And I agree. I think that, look, we're trying to get rid of these, bad actors that are trying to get these sort of cards, sold, through these channels. And so that part is very, very good. And hopefully, I think that eBay probably is hoping that just instituting this policy will remove a lot of the bad stuff off of the site. If there are fake cards being sold, fake slabs, etc., that it will automatically trigger people that are trying to sell this stuff to move on somewhere else and not on eBay. Because let's face it, eBay is the largest selling platform for sports cards and a lot of collectibles, and so it's important for them to get it off the site. And so while there are certain, there's red tape here that hopefully they will work around, moving forward. Some things that I can see can be unpopular. The big picture is that we don't want, the weird stuff on the site. We don't want, to find out later on that we bought a card and maybe we go to resell that card and then we are the ones that actually have the counterfeit card and didn't even realize it in the first place. So just getting this stuff off the market, destroyed, is the goal. And it's probably going to become more and more of an issue. You look at PSA that acquired, Genament for the main purpose of that wasn't grading, it was authentication. That's what Nat Turner has stated. And it makes sense. Big money coming into the hobby means big money poured into fakes and counterfeit type stuff. So big picture, good stuff, but the logistical piece is going to be absolutely critical for both for eBay and for CSG to get right. And so that's the thing that I really am going to be watching and just getting feedback from viewership on what's been your experience, dealing with this. Has it been good? Not good? So guys, thank you very much for joining me here today to kind of run through some of this stuff in more detail. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.